began as a conflict over the transfer of consciousness from flesh to machines escalated into a war which has decimated 1 million worlds. The core and the arm have all but exhausted the resources of a galaxy in their struggle for domination. Both sides now crippled beyond repair, the remnants of their armies continue to battle on ravaged planets, their hatred fueled by over 4,000 years of total war. This is a fight to the death. For each side, the only acceptable outcome is the complete elimination of the other.
Greetings, Soulswind here, and welcome to the very first episode of Let's Play Total Annihilation. I'm playing version 3.1, as you can see here. Now, before I proceed, let's take a look at some options. Particularly, I would like to direct your attention to unit text acknowledgements. This is set to medium, which means that there's an audio cue or the units acknowledge when you give it a command or an order. I don't want to set it to full because it will acknowledge and give an audio cue when it arrives at a certain location or when it finishes something. Usually that is very annoying and confusing in the heat of a battle. Neither do I want to set it to off because that's very awkward, like unresponsive, and there's nothing that your unit tells you. So my own preference is that I set it to medium. You can also see game speed here, but this is adjustable in the game, so I'm just gonna put it at middle and leave it as it is for now. Another thing is the visuals. I'm playing on this resolution 720 by 480. I find this to be kind of suitable, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Alright, that's all for options. So as mentioned, I'll be playing the core campaign first. Well, one of the reasons is that the core campaign is the non-canon ending and the ARM campaign is the canon one. This can be seen from certain Wikipedia articles where it says that the core contingency campaign follows after the ARM campaign's ending. I want to get the non-canon part done first before doing the canon part. So yep, this is the core campaign. Mission 1 is the Commander Reactivated. Difficulty set to hard because I'll try my best to make it challenging while not making games impossible to play. I feel that hard is still pretty decent here, so I'm setting it to hard. Now, shall we proceed?
Towards the end of the war, a series of key strategic victories shifted the long-standing balance of power in favor of the ARM rebellion. Control over the few significant concentrations of resources left in the galaxy gave the arm a crucial edge over the core. Outmaneuvered and outgunned, core forces everywhere were systematically wiped out. Finally, all that remained of the once proud empire was its command center, the planet Core Prime. Core Prime too would have fallen were it not for the unmatched skill of the sole surviving Core commander. A shrewd tactician and ruthless warrior, the commander repelled every arm attack to approach the Core homeworld. Despite superior numbers, armed forces were unable to overcome the commander's cunning defense. The stalemate ended when armed forces somehow made their way undetected onto Core Prime. At the time of the initial invasion, the Core commander was undergoing routine maintenance and was deactivated by the arm before a response could be mounted. The arm had known precisely where and when to strike. The enemy had arrived.
Mission 1.1 Core. Armed vermin have made planetfall on Core Prime. A small group has caught the commander during maintenance and has deactivated him. Destroy all armed vermin so that the commander can be reactivated. Intel. The probability of ARM being on Core Prime is nil. Yet, they are here. Destroy all of the ARM units. Do so now. Okay, before I begin, you can see on the top right hand corner, there's a wind speed and gravity. Wind speed doesn't affect us in this mission particularly, so I'll ignore that for now. Gravity, I'll explain in the game itself. I just want to say it looks really beautiful here because Core is AI and is more robotic, and this whole design, the planet is full of metal, and you can see the landscape, it's rusty, metallic feel to it, and it's all dark. Like an AI, maybe it's to say there's no feelings, I'm not too sure, but that's the feel I get from the design here. So, shall we proceed? Let's go. Alright, you can see here that the game is loaded in the paused state. Actually, I had to do something to make this happen, because if you load a game normally, it will not be paused. So the way to do this is to load up a game as per normal, pause the game, quit to menu, and then launch a new game again. This time round, it will load in the paused state. This is really helpful because we can then at least evaluate what units we have or what is the starting stage of the map. Now, that being said, let's start the game. Okay, we have access to several information right now, but let's deal with the enemies first. Okay, never mind, that's fine. Alright, firstly we have the game time, which is the time elapsed in the game. This game time actually moves according to the game speed, so as you increase the speed, the game time goes faster. You have to watch out for this game time if you're on a timed map, which we'll encounter later. This is the number of units we have and the maximum number of units we can get. As you can see here, the total units. There's something interesting about this information here which I'll cover later. So for now, keep it as it is. Lastly is the game speed. It's currently set to 2, which is the speed that I adjusted just now. Why did it say 2 when it's in the middle? Because we have negative speed. After normal, I just pressed the minus button on the keypad. We can go all the way down to -9. If you hold on to the minus button, we can go all the way up to +10. So this is the game speed that we can adjust. We'll keep this at around +3, +4 thereabouts, because that feels realistic without making it go too slowly, but also manageable for gameplay. Now let's move our units out. Oh, one more thing, I'm pressing the tilde button to switch on the HP bar. If I group the units by pressing Ctrl 1, you'll see the number of the group appear below the health bar. Left click to move, right click to deselect, alternate number, in this case alternate 1, to reselect the group. Now this mission is pretty simple. We have to destroy every unit on the map. So let's go about looping around and destroying all these enemy units. Alright, there's someone firing at me, so I can't tell where. I've really lost one unit. Never mind, let's deal with this one first. There should be no more here because they would have fired at me from the high ground. And that brings me to the next point. There is the problem of high ground and low ground. Yeah, there's nothing there. Yep. So weapons have a problem firing into the high ground. And they might miss and hit the cliff or whatever that's blocking them, or whatever that's between them and the high ground. So be very careful when ordering your units near high ground, because the units on top can fire at you, but you'll have a hard time firing back. As you can see from there, it's from the high ground. One more thing is that units, when they explode, they actually do damage to nearby units, so be very careful to separate units on low health away from other units, which I'm doing a bad job here right now. So, and I'm losing the game actually. There's a problem with the AI in the fact that they actually don't respond and don't fire on certain units. I might lose the game. Okay, as you can see here, plasma guns fire a further distance and they have a straighter trajectory, so if you have your units moved very close to the enemy, they might actually fire over your units and thus miss. That could be helpful. I'm very close to losing the game. I still have a stump. No, not stumpy. Actually, this is a raider. And this unit is more tanky, but I'm just worried what unit is here, so... Wow, that is a very close one. Will I win? I have a greater DPS, but plasma guns, as this tank is using, is known to missing. Well, if you hear that sound, the drum sound, it means that we have actually won. We're rewarded with this end screen. And this is the score screen. We're done with the first mission. Now let's see. We've got 17 kills and the enemies got 7. We've only started with 10, so how did we lose the others? We lost 8 units? Oh yeah, because of the commander, it's counted as a unit, but we cannot control it. And still, that's a problem. Why did we lose one more unit than what they have killed? Let me think. Meanwhile, the energy produced is from the production of the deactivated core commander. It's deactivated, but somehow it can still produce energy, which is kind of weird. And similarly for the metal. Yeah, if we don't use any energy, the excess energy is all shown here, but we did use energy on some units that were moving, so I'll point that out later. And all the excess metal were not used, and therefore you can see the excess metal is the same as the ones produced. Lastly, I'm actually not too sure how this score is calculated. Oh, one more thing, I forgot to mention the gravity. The gravity affects how weapons or how fired projectiles fly. The higher the gravity, the lesser distance they fly. So that's the effect of gravity. Alright, join me next time for the second episode, the second mission of Let's Play Total Annihilation. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.